Have you ever went to a place which was infested by cockroaches? And have you tried to wipe them out? Well, then you find out that it was really hard because cockroaches have learned to evolve after you use a certain pesticide. So this leads me to the question, which you'll see. Will France's intervention in Mali deal a fatal blow to the Boko Haram? So right now I'm comparing the Boko Haram as cockroaches. So my answer would be, France and Mali will probably win some wars with the Boko Haram, but however, they will not be able to completely wipe out the Boko Haram. And this is just like you are unable to completely wipe out the cockroaches. So wars mean lives lost. And like the Boko Haram and the Al-Qaeda and lots of groups together, they've combined and they're a huge terrorist group. And these groups are threatening lots of African countries. And lots of innocent people are needing to suffer the impacts of these terrorist actions. So, this impacts the world in a way that, since the United Nations has already taken the steps, they have sent French in to try to stop this group. Because they know the full impacts of what a whole terrorist group would mean to the world. But however, as much as I hate it, I have to say that the Boko Haram will still thrive afterwards, and that France's and UN's effort will not be enough to completely wipe them out. And this is because, first of all, of France's plan to it, and second, that the Mali army isn't as strong as it should be, and then the third is that the rebels are really, really good at running. Okay, so to start my first point. This whole France intervention was UN-backed. According to BBC Africa News, UN Security Council has unanimously backed France's military intervention in Mali to fight Islamic officials. To fight Islamic rebels, officials have said. This is from January 15th. So this shows that the UN has unanimously decided to help France and back France when France is wanting to try to stop the rebels. And the UN is probably operating on protecting humanitarian rights and political security and also women's rights point of view. However, also according to BBC Africa News, January 13th, France is eager to hand the lead to Africans as soon as possible. So this shows that France will probably help Mali for a while, but after they think that they have done enough, they will likely hand the lead back to Africans. However, this means that they have a more short-term view of the whole situation. Which leads me to the second point, that actually the Malian army isn't ready yet for this confrontation. According to the Economist, February 2nd, 2013, even after years of American training, the ill-disciplined Malian army on its own are no match for the rebels. So this shows that, since, as stated in my first point, that France will very likely hand the lead back to the Malian army. But by that time, the Malian army are simply not ready yet. So therefore, they will not be ready to confront the rebels if the rebels are to rise again. And the rebels will rise again because, as my third point says, the rebels are really, really good at running. According to the Economist, February 2nd, 2013. Now they will revert back to what they do much better, surviving as guerrillas in the desert. So, the rebels are really, really good at running. Furthermore, according to NY Daily News, northern Mali is now the biggest territory held by Al-Qaeda and its allies. They hold more than 2/3 of Mali, while only 1/3 is controlled by the government. So since they have such a wide expanse of land where they can run around and hide, it is like cockroaches. They're impossible to completely destroy of. So therefore, when France decides to let the Malian army take the lead, the rebels will simply just come back together, and the Malian army will not be able to quash the rebels again. So, to restate, well, the question was, will France's intervention in Mali deal a fatal blow to the Boko Haram? Well, my answer is no, because first of all, France has no intention of leading Mali forever, and also the Malian armies isn't ready. And finally, the rebels can hide until Mali becomes the leader and then attack. Therefore, the whole Boko Haram will not be wiped out completely. So I'd like to conclude by saying that since cockroaches have survived since the prehistoric periods, well, like the Boko Haram, these cockroaches will not be wiped out easily. Thank you.